First game up, we just got talking about it. Got done talking about it in our main podcast. K-State at home against Cincinnati. This ranking is not right. That's last week's ranking. We're recording this on a Tuesday. I have K-State winning 31-21 with only one turnover on offense. Defensively, I have K-State with 3 sacks. Kenny, let them know your score prediction, your hot takes as well.
Yep, my score prediction was 35-24, and I have DJ Giddens finally rushing for over 200 yards on the last home game of the season, and I've got Jacob Parrish with a little interception.
I love it. I love it. Moving on here. A couple of teams right in the middle of the pack. TCU at home against Arizona. 2:00 on Saturday. TCU favored by 12. Over under 58.5. I'm going to take the over here. I'm going to go TCU wins 42-24. I don't know. This feels right. Feels right. So that's covering a 12 and hitting the over as well. Kenny, what do you got?
Yeah, I've got TCU winning here. I think Arizona, they got a good win against Houston. I don't know if that's just, Houston having to travel, didn't look good after that win against K-State or whatever the case. But like in the last few games, Arizona has not been good offensively. They're going against TCU. I don't know what to say about TCU. I mean, they're kind of like good one week, bad one week, good one week. They're all over the place for me. I've got TCU winning though. We'll go 35 Arizona. I'm sorry, Arizona fans, but I think you're probably going to end up going back down to under 20 points this game. 14 for me. 35-14.
Ooh, I dig it. Moving on. This is the game of the week in the Big 12. It feels like a elimination game, Kenny. BYU at Arizona State. The home team is favored by 3, over under 48.5. If BYU loses this game, I think they are out of the Big 12 title game because not only would they lose a head-to-head to Arizona State, they will also lose a tiebreaker because Arizona State beat KU. What just happened last week? BYU lost to KU. I've been saying for a long time, BYU is going to lose this game. I've said it for weeks now. I'm sticking with it. I got Arizona State winning 28-17. 2-score win.
So I went through the comments and I saw a comment that somebody actually went back and watched every single video to see my pick ratio for BYU. And before the Kansas game, I was 6-3. And I picked Kansas to win. So now I'm 7-3 on my BYU picks. And there's a lot of things to say here. One of the things that Stevie always has been preaching the entire year is that teams respond better after a loss. And Arizona State just walked into Manhattan, Kansas, got a huge win. They're really high. They're like they're extremely pumped. They're like looking for this. And what did BYU do? They lost their perfect season to KU in a dramatic way. BYU is going to be pissed off. They're going to want to get back on track. I think BYU wins this game. It's going to be just like every other game. BYU's games are going to be close. Arizona's definitely going to be fighting in this game, but I think BYU comes out with the win. I got BYU winning 30-28.
That's interesting. You're 70% on their picks. I don't know what I am picking BYU games, but it's not good. It's not good. And I picked against them several times. I think I picked against them against SMU. I picked against them against K-State. Picked against Baylor. There was one other game as well. And they're 9-1. And shout out to them. They have to win this game. They have to win this game. I just want to say one more thing about this game before we move on. BYU has really struggled defending the running backs, defending the rush offense. And what does ASU have? They got a 1,000-yard back in Cam Scatterby. That guy's really good. I mean, K-State shut him down, and Sam Levitt did the rest. But, man, I feel like this is a breakout game, another breakout game, because he's had a bunch this year. Another breakout game for Cam Scatterby. That place is going to be rocking. I don't think they've lost at home at all this season. In fact, I know they haven't. They lost at Texas Tech and they lost at Cincinnati. I just don't know how you can pick BYU right now. They scored 13 points on offense last week. We had all these comments from BYU fans saying they don't lose focus regardless of who they're playing. Well, they look like they lost focus to me, and they've not been playing very well for a long time. They haven't. They kind of look like they're K-State right now. Just haven't been looking good for a long time. They got lucky against Oklahoma State. They got lucky against a few other teams. I have Arizona State winning by double digits, man, and I think Cam Scatterby is going to have a couple touchdowns. Moving on.
All right. If that wasn't the game of the week, this definitely is also game of the week. Kansas, the freaking giant killers. They're going to be they took out Iowa State. They took out BYU. Now they're staring down the barrel of Colorado and then a rising Baylor after this game. So Kansas, this is going to be insane. I don't have a dog in this anymore. I basically accepted that K-State's out of it, regardless of technically they're in it if Kansas wins, but there's a whole lot of other things that need to happen. Even if Kansas beats Colorado, I do not think that Kansas is going to beat Colorado here. I've got Colorado winning, despite the fact that if they beat Colorado and all the other things in the universe line up correctly, then K-State can still make the the Big 12 title game. I still have Kansas losing this game. Colorado is going to come in. I got them winning 35-33.
I've been saying all week that I'm going to pick Colorado to win this game, and I am. I do think there's a very good chance that KU could win this game. I mean, the spread is just 2.5 points for Colorado, over under 59.5. I feel like you got to hit that over. I am going to pick Colorado to win this game, but I do not feel great about it because KU's playing really good right now. You called them giant killers for a reason. They beat Iowa State. They beat BYU. They have two really good corners, like you said, a good running back, a good quarterback. They're playing really well right now. They have a lot to play for. They want to get to a bowl game. I got Colorado winning 38-31, high-scoring game. I think Colorado is going to score the game-winning touchdown with 2 minutes left in the game. And then their defense is finally going to do them a solid and get a stop against KU. They're going to be 9-2, 7-1 in the Big 12, and basically guarantee a spot in the conference title game. Colorado's winning this game, Kenny, like we both said. So, moving on. Texas Tech, Oklahoma State. At Oklahoma State, I don't care about this game. Texas Tech wins. I don't care. 31-28.
Yep. I'll just to save time and to save my breath, I'll just agree.
Okay, moving on. Another game I just do not care about. West Virginia versus UCF. UCF made a change of quarterback. West Virginia is trying to save their head coach. West Virginia 35, UCF 28.
Ooh, yeah, this is kind of sneaky. What West Virginia does really well is comes against what UCF wants to do. So West Virginia is really good at stopping the run, and UCF is really good, or that's what they want to do is run. I think it's a bad matchup for UCF. I think you're correct, Steve. I think West Virginia wins. We'll go 34 or 35. I don't know. 35-21.
Okay, so we're only off by one touchdown. Sneaky game here. Baylor versus Houston. Baylor's looking like a top 5 team. Houston had been playing better until they got their butts beat in Tucson. I got Baylor winning this game. It's gonna be lower scoring, 24-14, which is not a score I want to say after K-State just lost, but Baylor wins 24-14, hitting the under, but covering the spread.
Dude, I don't know how you can. I don't know how you can pick against Baylor in this game. They have won the last 4 games in dominant fashion, and they just look like they're kind of like flying under the radar. A lot of people aren't talking about this team because of how they started off, but them in KU that they're going to meet next week, but they both are just they're winning games, and I don't think people are putting enough recognition on that. I've got Baylor winning. I think they're going to win 41. Houston maybe 14, 21. We'll say 14.
Dude, do you think that Houston's defense is going to give up 41? No way. No chance.
Baylor's popping off, man.
They are popping off. But no way. No way. Last game of the week, 6:30 on Fox. Iowa State.
Stevie's doubting me, man.
Iowa State at Utah. This is a big game for Iowa State. They cannot be looking past Utah because if BYU loses, there's a real chance Iowa State can get into the Big 12 championship game. There's a real chance that they can get there. Check out our other video we're going to do breaking down the Big 12 title chances. But I got Iowa State winning a closer than expected game, 24-20 at Utah. Utah's defense is going to do a lot better than they did last week, but still hitting the over. Man, the over-under is only 41.5. Wow. Yeah, Iowa State wins 24-20.
Yeah, man. Look, both Colorado and BYU, if they take care of business, if Utah beats Iowa State, that's it. There's nothing else that needs to happen in the next week. The Big 12 championship game is Colorado versus BYU. That's just what happens. So if Utah does come out and beat Iowa State, and Colorado beats KU and BYU beats Arizona State, there's our Big 12 title match in Arlington. However, I think Iowa State is playing really well defensively. They're going against one of the worst quarterbacks in the Big 12, and it's no offense to him. He's a freshman. He stepped into the spotlight way too early. He's not developed at all. And I feel bad for him, but it is what it is. Utah did not do a good job of creating depth for their quarterback room. And so, it's unfortunate, but I do have Iowa State beating Utah here. Iowa State hasn't been putting up a lot of points, but I'll give them. I want to go out and say I'm going to give them 30. I'm going to give Utah maybe 14.